All right, hey, good morning. Welcome to Moina Bass Fishers. This is Jim Moina, professional bass angler. We're out here today, September 24th, on a day where we got overcast skies, winds less than 10 miles an hour after a big rainstorm last night. We're bass fishing, of course. We got a lake with about 2 foot water clarity that's got pads and docks. And Joe, does it have any humps to it?
Yeah, there's a couple weed humps we'll be hitting.
Okay, a couple weed humps we're going to be hitting. So, strategy is, I feel like top water's probably not going to work so good. So I'm going to be throwing a lot of jig. I've got a hybrid hunter on, tied on one of my rods that I'm trying to get some confidence in it. Supposedly that's a great bait. I've caught a few on it down south this past spring and stuff, but so jigs, I got a chatterbait tied on, and then I got a finesse bait, a little nook bait. So, but Joe's the guide today. Joe Thrun, my tournament partner in Minnesota team tournaments. So he's the guide today, and we're in his boat, which shall go nameless. Although he does have Lawrence Electronics, so I do approve of that part of it. And Minn Kota Ultrex, which he just bought, and you can't believe he didn't get it sooner. Anyways, we'll check back later after I catch the first fish. Over. Stop. All right, this ain't. All right, we're back. We've gone about a quarter mile of pad fishing. Finally had our first bite with this 2-pound largemouth in the pads towards the outer edge. These are kind of deep pads on the outside. We got like 5 feet on the outside of these, but that's the only bite we've had so far. Noticed a lot of carp running through the pads, and caught this on the all-terrain grass jig, super old one I had. I tied on, hoping a pike would steal it. Anyhow, yeah, maybe things will pick up. Over. All right, you see that frog right there? That frog just caught this bass, like 3.5 pounder, up on a dock. And the sun just kind of popped out just for a brief little bit. We got a little clearing. So anyhow, that is that. That's the second fish of the day, probably minutes later than the one I caught a little bit ago. So we got a few more docks ahead, so maybe that's a good sign. Joe likes to skip this frog under these docks. It's some really shallow water here, and where that fish was, he was on the shallow side of the dock, so a good opportunity to catch one on a skip frog. So that's it. That's 1-1 in this tournament between Joe and I. But I won the ice cream fish. Right, Joe?
Yep, sure did.
Again. Okay, it's been a long time since either Joe or I caught one. Joe rolled this one under a dock, and then I threw in there and caught it on a finesse bait. So all it did was it pulled his frog under, didn't hook it, and then I threw in there and caught him on the finesse bait. So, but it's been kind of tough. We fished this whole bay behind me without even having a bite. Since I did jump off 2 a while ago, but it's like 1:30 now, and slow bite. We've had about 6 bites maybe today. So, nice day though. It's not too windy. It's comfortable. Enjoying the back of the boat fishing today. Come on, get that one. Anyways, over. Okay, we've pulled off the shoreline finally. I caught a couple more small little fish on the nook. It's a little finesse bait that I showed you earlier. So we're out here on a kind of an offshore hump, and we'll see what happens here. But it's been kind of a tough bite. The frog bite up shallow is not working. The jig bite up shallow is not working. I mean, we've caught a few, but there's a lot more fish in this lake that we're, that are here that we're not catching. So we're offshore. Let's give it a whirl. I'm probably going to throw that finesse bait a little bit, and then that heavy jig, because I only got a couple of rods. So Joe, what are you throwing? Big crank and a drop shot is what he's going to be throwing. He's got the crank in his hand right now, though. Over. All right, this is the final segment of this video, and we're back. Got the boat on the trailer, got Joe's boat in the garage. So it really didn't turn out to be that great of a fishing day for us. We did catch, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 more bass that were like, pound and a quarter, pound and a half. And that was really it. So I guess if we were to do this day over, we'd just pick a different lake, because we got Clearwater Lake around here, we got Coronas, we got a bunch of other little lakes around here that, but you never know. Joe's done well on this lake in the past, and just wasn't meant to be this time. We tried chatterbaiting, we tried cranking, we tried finessing, we tried jigging, we tried shallow, we tried deep, frogs. I mean, it's a small lake. It's maybe a 400-acre lake. So we did a whole bunch of things, and we just didn't unravel this puzzle so well. So anyhow, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Over.